Goodness comes and evil goes.
Kimunga Ukumbozi, Kimunga Ukumbozi, Kimunga Ukumbozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth. Karibu, welcome. My name is Kwende, and today we're going to be getting into another important subject area. And the subject for today is entitled Deities of Living African History. Now, deities are very important to African life, vitally important to African life, and have been so from the earliest of times. The concept of what a deity is very important to grasp, certainly from the African life experience. Deities are, in fact, attributes or characteristics of the Creator Supreme, the ultimate divine, that become personified, that become divine characters to empower African life in a particular way. So there are many deities, and they have been with the African in various forms, expressed throughout the various language groups and societies that have been developed by African souls from time immemorial. Deities represent then superlative and exceptional divine powers, divine qualities, divine characteristics that are embodied in a form that can easily be recognized by African souls. So in order for that empowerment to be made manifest in life, to be brought to the fore in life, because they have come out of the African experience, they are definitely a part of living African history. And if you do want to get a little bit of an insight into what living African history is all about, then please do check out the previous video on that subject. Because they are part of the African experience, the deities are able to energize and enliven, to draw out, motivate the African, to make real, to bring out the best of the African self in whatever specialism that deity happens to represent. They are all part of the African history continuum. But there are deities that reflect history itself, that empower the making, the articulation, the pulling on, the drawing from history that African people must engage in for the best of themselves to be made manifest. So there are deities that have a specialism on the wisdom tradition of the African. Now, there are two examples we're going to just mention. One of them is known as Jehuti, from the ancient Nile Valley civilization of Africa. And Jehuti is a superlative, a supreme, an exceptional wisdom guide that guides the African to unveil, to reveal the best wisdom guide that he or she can be. So Jehuti is a standard bearer for what it means to acquire wisdom, to express wisdom, to apply wisdom so that living knowingness is made real. This is real living history being energized by a deity of wisdom. That's what Jehuti represents. Now, the other example I'm just going to highlight is Orunmila. Orunmila is from West Africa. And again, Orunmila is a superlative and exceptional wisdom guide that empowers the African in turn to express and apply the wisdom guide of self throughout life. So both Jehuti of the ancient Nile Valley and Orunmila of West Africa share a substance of oneness that is reflective of the shared experience and oneness of African souls, wherever we are located. And just to note that these two examples are not exclusive. Wisdom is deified throughout the African world, expressed in various linguistic forms and depicted in a number of different ways. We just happen to be expressing two particular examples here. And this is a testament to the oneness of spirit that African people hold. History is about knowingness. And it is through that knowingness that wisdom is gleaned, that wisdom materializes. So we need to study our history, know our history, live our history, and develop the wisdom that comes from doing that. Apply the wisdom that comes from doing that. And lift ourselves to our pinnacle state of being with that wisdom. So when we celebrate African history, we can certainly lift the deities that reflect African history. We can lift the deities that represent African wisdom that comes out of the knowingness of our own experience in this world. These two deities, Jehuti and Orunmila, are of one spirit. Just as African souls throughout the world are of one spirit. So lift Jehuti, lift Orunmila, lift wisdom, however that is manifest, in whichever African linguistic form. And know that wisdom is very much alive in each and every African soul, poised and ready to manifest itself fully, so that this world can be guided by the natural and primary wisdom guides of humanity, the African. So with that, food for thought, and surely it is food for thought Until such time again. Kimunga Ukumbozi, Kimunga Ukumbozi, Kimunga Ukumbozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth.